Hello and welcome to Sega News Bits, the final Sega News Bits of 2015, and we're ending on a down point, unless you're listening to this before the best of, which then, I don't know. Anyway, this is the most disappointing Sega games of 2015, so let's kick things off. My most disappointing Sega game of 2015 was Sonic Runners, which is probably going to surprise a lot of people because people usually label me as the site's Sonic fanboy. But believe it or not, I can dislike Sonic games just as well as you can. Yeah, you want to know why I didn't like this game, George?
Yes, let me know.
All right. Here are the reasons. Number one, I thought the game was very manipulative with the roulette wheel. I also felt that, I'm not like a prude, but it's a game that's appealing to everyone, including kids, and we're just slapping in the most sleaziest casino game possible. I know wheels are a popular way for these games to, give you random prizes and all that, but it's the Sonic series, and I know that, something like Casino Night Zone was popular and all, but there are more ways to give you random items, like item monitors, or maybe even a mini game, so you actually had a little bit of a chance to actually get these things. The second reason, I just found the game to get really boring after a while. You play it, you get the gist of it, and it really doesn't change. It gets a little more difficult, you get different characters, but it's not that varied. The third reason I didn't like it, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you can transfer the data if you delete it from your device. If I'm wrong on that, then shame on me, but I have so much trouble maintaining my data, and it started out as a exclusive to Canada and some other territories, so of course I knew playing it that when I switched over to the US one, my information wouldn't carry over, but still, it was kind of annoying to redo all that stuff. And then once I got to that point where, I was kind of far enough, I wanted to play it on my iPad as well, and it was giving me problems there. Like, I couldn't transfer the data. I don't know if that was possible. But overall, it was the only only original Sonic team title this year. Everything else was... Well, actually, there weren't any Sonic Boom titles, so it was the only main Sonic game this year, and it was just, I don't know, it was just disappointing. I didn't like it. I liked it for maybe 2 months, and the fact that I'm not picking it up and playing it now speaks volumes about how disappointing it was. I'm not saying it's an awful game. It's not a bad game. It is enjoyable. I could play it right now and like it, but it's just disappointing.
I would agree with you. I really disliked the roulette wheel. I found it was, like you said, sleazy. But I only played it for like a couple months, and that's kind of like how I am with cell phone games. I get what I want, and I'm like, oh, I've had enough. I'll move on. And it was all right for those few months, but I could see why people would be like, you haven't changed this, you haven't done this, you haven't had it. Like, what it seems like is they're just adding new characters. They're basically skins with other people's moves, or basic moves, apparently.
Yeah.
And that's it. You're playing the same thing over and over again. Is that correct?
Pretty much. And, they do have events. The events are all right, but it's mainly the music changing in the background. It doesn't really reinvent. There's only so much you can do with an endless runner going from left to right. And, I don't know. I want a main series Sonic title. That's all I want.
And I should probably say my game, right?
I guess you have to.
All right, before I say this title, I just want to say that actually Sega, even though they didn't release that many big games, they didn't really have that many games that I would consider super trashy. I'm trying to think, and I can't really think of something that I would be like, can't believe they did that, like in the past where they would have Iron Man or Alien Colonial Marines.
Oh, for sure. The fact that I picked mine, it's not the worst. It's just that's my most disappointing game.
Mine would be that Denkai Bunco Fighting Climax. The game, I thought it was going to be a really nice looking... I saw some trailers and it looked a little rough around the edges, but I thought there was going to be more to the game when it came out over here. And more, fan service. And it's like... It has some of the worst story mode for a single player. Some weird anime plot about dreams or something. I don't know. I wasn't even paying attention. The characters kind of look a little rough, I'm gonna be honest. Really low budget 2D animation. the backgrounds looked really, really, really rough. I mean, I was looking at some of the like Sonic ones, and the textures look worse than they do in the actual Sonic games. So I don't really understand.
Yeah.
So, and the fighting system felt very basic. So it was just a basic fighting game with tie-ins for fans that like those games from that company. And I don't really watch those animes. Like, they had some really weird, obscure animes. I think Darura is the only one that I've seen some of. So it's very obscure anime. So definitely not for me. And even if I did like the animes, I probably would still be disappointed with the game, and suggest people spend their time playing like Virtua Fighter 5 probably. So
for sure.
Go pick up Virtua Fighter 5 on the PSN.
Yeah, right. So,
But yeah,
I mean, I overall though, I would say 2015 wasn't. It was a light year for Sega games, but it definitely wasn't a horrible year. We had some great titles that we listed off in our favorites video, which you can watch, and these aren't the worst titles. What would you say? Like, these are like C tier, you know?
I would say that I would say the worst, I guess you could say, is probably be maybe like really high D, but I would say they're about C. And I would say that like if this Sega's negativity would come that they had a lack of games, not that they had bad games.
Right, of course.
So that's an improvement, and they could. I think next year is going to look a lot better. They have Zero coming to the West. They have Yakuza 0.
Yeah.
They have that Warhammer Total War game. They have the next Sonic game that they're going to announce. So I think it's going to be looking up.
Yeah, and there's also three or four 3D classics, I think, that haven't made their way here yet. So that's good. But yeah, in the comments, let us know what your most disappointing Sega game of 2015 was, or you can throw in an Atlas game in there if you don't want to beat up on Sega.
Oh yeah, the Legend of Legendary, whatever it's called. Yeah. That game was definitely disappointing.
And you know, if this video got you down, don't worry, we have a favorite games video that you can also watch to even things out. If you'd like more Sega news, check us out at SEGAbits.com. And also, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and follow us on all our social networks.